If you don't guard your inner life, the world will decide your fate for you. Too many wander through their days with their spirit doors left wide open, and that is why the same patterns of loss, delay, and invisible resistance keep finding them without mercy. Those who work in shadow understand a simple law: if they can snare your feet, they can steer your journey. They study thresholds, crossroads, and entryways. They know that an unsealed shoe is an invitation, a map to your path. Today I will uncover something disarmingly simple, yet fierce as fire: salt, olive oil, and a sanctified powder that makes darkness recoil. When these touch your shoes, you no longer move as a casual traveler, you advance as a keeper of light. Your feet carry your destiny the way a river carries a boat. Each step is a choice of current. But what happens when the ground itself is baited, when the energy beneath you is sick, when every stride drags old misfortune forward? You find yourself moving yet arriving nowhere, circling the same mountain with a different calendar. This is how bondage hides, not in chains at your wrists, but in cords around your footsteps. Consider how quickly a room can change you, the way a bright mood sours, a clear mind fogs, an open heart flinches. Often it is not coincidence, it is transfer. The soil is polluted, the vibration low, and the feet gather what the mind cannot see. In Eastern wisdom the soul is a gate of chi, a meeting of meridians. In the West we say, the steps of the righteous are ordered. Different tongues, same truth, steps matter. Most people armor their thoughts and words, yet leave their shoes bare. The adversary smiles, because an uncovered path is an easy snare. But here is the hidden reversal: your shoes can be consecrated into instruments of protection. With salt to cleanse, olive oil to anoint, and powder to seal, every pace you take becomes a proclamation of freedom. This is not superstition, this is disciplined faith joined with natural law. It is the practice of aligning intention, matter, and movement, the unseen and the seen, so that your walk harmonizes with blessing. From this moment forward, refuse to walk unguarded. When curses are sown at doorsteps, when powders are scattered at crossings, when thresholds are seeded with confusion, it is the feet that collect them, unless the feet are sealed. Sprinkle what is pure, and snares lose their bite. Mark your steps, and arrows return to the sender. Some battles you have wrestled for years did not enter through your thoughts, they rode in through your soles. The weariness on your road, the delay at the edge of breakthrough, the stumble right before success, many of these began when your steps were captured. Now you will reverse it. You will relearn how to walk. You need no expensive ritual, no mediator to stand between you and your path. You need a handful of salt, a breath of olive oil, and a powder set apart for fire. When these enter your shoes, your gait changes. You stride over snares. You travel above traps. You move forward under open heaven. Salt has always whispered mysteries to those who listen. It was never just seasoning for food, it was covenant, it was preservation, it was purification. In temples and shrines, salt marked the ground so corruption could not cross. Even now, witches and shadow workers fear its presence, because salt is a living witness in the unseen world. When you sprinkle a trace of salt inside your shoes, you are not merely carrying a mineral, you are declaring, every corruption on my path dissolves. Every defilement beneath my feet loses its grip. What looks like a grain is actually a sword. Salt breaks invisible contracts, severs hidden chains, and refuses to let you carry pollution from cursed soil into sacred spaces. Think of how salt heals stagnant water. In the same way, when salt touches your shoes, it heals the road ahead of you. Even if you step into a ground seeded with ashes, blood, or enchantment, the curse cannot cling. The salt proclaims, this ground is neutralized. My steps are safe. But let us go deeper. In vibration science, salt holds a crystalline structure that resonates with purity. It absorbs, transmutes, and radiates clarity. That is why simply walking with salt in your soul shifts your aura. It creates a field where low vibrations cannot anchor. Many of you have entered offices, relationships, or gatherings that looked harmless yet drained you. That heaviness followed you home because your feet became carriers. Salt halts that transfer. It says, the energy stops here. That is why your shoes must never remain empty again. With salt, they become guardians, silent yet fierce. Yet cleansing alone is only the beginning. A field cleared of weeds must also be sown with good seed. This is why the second weapon is oil, sacred olive oil. It is not about greasing leather but about marking destiny. For thousands of years, oil has been poured upon kings, prophets, and seekers as a seal of divine choice. When you anoint your shoes with oil, you are announcing, everywhere I step, favor will meet me. Doors will open. My path is chosen. Oil shifts the vibration of your walk from ordinary to appointed. It is not the liquid itself but the intention it carries, the covenant it embodies. Oil whispers to the invisible, this one is marked. Imagine stepping into a room with shoes anointed in oil. The ground beneath you is already purified by salt, but now the very air begins to shift in your favor. Those who once ignored you feel compelled to notice. Places that rejected you bend toward welcome. Enemies that used to block your road cannot stand against the mark of oil. Why? Because oil carries the vibration of kingship. It drips authority into your every step. This is why so many falter not from lack of skill or effort but from walking uncovered. They enter business deals, marriages, or journeys without the seal of oil. What could have prospered turned sour, not because fate was against them but because their feet carried no mark of favor. But the moment you let olive oil kiss your shoes, even hard soil begins to soften. Even closed gates begin to swing. It is as if the earth itself recognizes you as chosen. Now picture it, your shoes holding salt and oil together. Purification and anointing, two rivers flowing as one. Your steps become holy, your path secured, your destiny illuminated. Yet even this is not the end. For what is cleansed and marked must also be sealed. And that is where the third weapon, the sacred powder, enters, to complete the triad. Even with salt's cleansing and oil's anointing, the work is unfinished without the seal. In every sacred tradition, there is always a final act that locks the blessing in place. That final act is the powder, a mysterious substance feared in the world of shadow because it travels quickly through the unseen. Witches scatter their powders into the wind to spread curses, binding energy across distance. But when you, a bearer of light, place sanctified powder in your shoes, it becomes fire that spreads protection, not harm. It does not corrupt, it blinds corruption. It does not enslave, it imprisons the enslaver. This powder is the sealant, the firewall, the invisible armor closing every crack and loophole so that nothing hostile can trace your steps. Understand this truth, your feet are low to the ground, but spiritually, they are high-value targets. If your mind is guarded but your steps are not, enemies still win. For where your feet go, your destiny follows. That is why the powder is not mere ritual, it is a lock. Once placed, no curse can cross. If witches attempt to call your name through cursed soil, the powder scatters their spell into smoke. If they try to track your footprints, they will see fire burning across every trace. This is why in dreams many see themselves walking barefoot over broken glass, nails, or burning ground, because their steps are targeted. With the powder sealing your shoes, such visions vanish. Instead, you become a terror to the very forces that once hunted you. Think of the three this way: salt is the cleanser, removing filth that clings unseen. Oil is the anointing, stamping your steps with authority and favor. Powder is the seal, closing the circle with holy flame. Together they transform shoes into altars of light. You are not walking anymore, you are carrying a moving sanctuary. The ground itself responds differently beneath you. Doors that resisted you bend open. Paths that were blocked begin to clear. Environments that once drained you now release their hold. But here lies a hidden layer few ever consider: consistency. Spiritual warfare is rarely won by one great act but by steady, faithful practice. Many fail not because they lack revelation but because they abandon it after one try. The powder teaches us discipline. It is a reminder that your steps must be sealed daily, that vigilance is love for your own destiny. Just as warriors sharpen their blades before battle, you sprinkle powder before stepping into the world. The moment the three elements combine in your shoes, your energy shifts. You walk lighter, your aura expands, your presence becomes untouchable. Opportunities arrive not by accident but by resonance, drawn to the vibration of your protected path. Where curses once recognized your footsteps, now they cannot find you. You are cloaked in fire, stepping only into blessing. And this triad of salt, oil, and powder is not superstition, it is the science of sacred alignment, a harmony of earth, spirit, and intention. Now let us move from mystery to practice. The wisdom is simple, but its power is profound. Begin with salt. Take only a pinch, for in the spirit it is not quantity but presence that matters. Sprinkle lightly inside each shoe, hidden from view yet alive with meaning. As you do, speak aloud, every corruption waiting for me on the ground is neutralized. Every cursed soil I step upon loses its power. Salt responds to vibration, and your words give it command. Without the voice, the act remains mute. With the voice, the act becomes covenant. Then take olive oil. Do not pour, only touch. A single drop rubbed along the inside of your shoes is enough. Some trace a symbol, others spread it thinly. However you do it, remember, oil is not about lubrication but consecration. Whisper or declare boldly, my steps are blessed. Wherever I walk, favor will meet me. Rejection will not follow me. Closed doors will open. In that moment, your shoes cease to be ordinary, they become carriers of the same mark once poured on kings and prophets. The unseen realm takes notice, and pathways align. Finally, place the powder. Just a trace at the toe of the shoe, tucked away but ready to walk with you. As you set it, proclaim, my feet are sealed with holy fire. Every curse waiting to capture me will burn. Every evil laid in my path will scatter. This is the finishing touch, the lock on the door, the seal on the covenant. Salt cleanses, oil anoints, but powder seals. Without it, the work is open-ended. With it, the circle is closed, and your journey becomes fire-wrapped. And what will you notice when you begin this practice? At first, a strange lightness, as if weights are falling from your legs. Some of you will feel the sudden lifting of heaviness you carried for years. Others will see the disappearance of recurring pains in the feet or ankles. Still others will notice the end of strange dreams, visions of walking barefoot on glass, stepping into mud, or treading on cursed ground. These were not random dreams, they were signs your feet had been bound. Once sealed, those visions lose their hold. In waking life, too, the difference will be clear. You may walk into the same workplace or home that once drained you, but now you will walk out refreshed instead of burdened. The ground itself yields to your protection. And most important of all, progress. Where your life once circled, it will now advance. Where doors once shut, they will now respond. Where opportunities slipped away by inches, they will now hold open until you pass through. This is the reward of sealed feet. It is not magic, it is alignment. It is the conscious act of preparing your steps with wisdom, energy, and faith. With every sprinkle, you are declaring, I will not be delayed. I will not stumble. I will not fail. From that moment on, your walk is no longer random. It is ordered. Reflect for a moment on how sacred the act of walking truly is. Your feet do not merely carry your body, they carry your destiny. Every opportunity, every relationship, every appointment begins with a step. If those steps are cursed, it does not matter how skilled, beautiful, or prayerful you may be, collapse follows because the foundation of your journey has been tampered with. Many cry over repeated losses without realizing the entry point was never their mind or their hands, but their feet. The soil they touched carried pollution, and because their shoes were unsealed, that energy traveled home with them. Think back, how many times have you walked into a place only to feel your joy drain, your peace vanish, or your spirit grow heavy without reason? That was not mere coincidence. It was a transfer. The ground itself was poisoned, and your feet became conduits. This is why one day everything may seem fine, and the next day, after stepping into the wrong environment, confusion begins. Finances wobble, relationships unravel, health weakens. The invisible entered through your soles. Until you learn to break that cycle, you will repeat it endlessly. But here is the awakening: sealing your shoes is not superstition, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that life is spiritual and steps are sacred. In many traditions, ancestral curses were passed not through words but through steps. If your forebears walked on cursed soil, that energy could ripple through generations, binding entire families to cycles of poverty, delay, or sickness. Yet by sprinkling salt, oil, and powder in your shoes, you declare, "This ends with me." You refuse to inherit the footsteps of failure. You choose instead to blaze a new path of blessing, freedom, and victory. This single shift can alter the destiny of your entire bloodline. For when you sanctify your steps, you sanctify the journey of those who follow you. Imagine children, grandchildren, and generations walking roads cleared because you decided to seal your shoes today. You are not just protecting yourself, you are writing a new script for your family's future. Remember, in sacred texts, blessings and curses were tied to footsteps. Every place the sole of your foot shall tread, it is given to you. Enemies humiliated kings by striking their feet. And when prophets declared promises, they were tied to steps. Your destiny is carried in your footsteps. That is why you must never again walk unprotected. Salt cleanses, oil anoints, and powder seals. These are not random objects but divine instruments placed in your hands to safeguard the most vital part of your journey. From now on, see your shoes not as leather, cloth, or rubber, but as armor. Each time you put them on, you are dressing more than your body, you are clothing your destiny. You are choosing not to wander aimlessly but to walk in ordered, protected, victorious steps. Pause and look closely at the shoes you wear every day. What if they are not mere coverings for your feet but vessels of power, shields forged from the simplest of elements? With salt to cleanse, oil to anoint, and powder to seal, those shoes become more than garments, they become weapons. They carry within them a field of light that burns before your arrival, disarms traps beneath you, and scatters darkness behind you. Each step becomes a declaration in the spirit: my path is purified, my destiny is untouchable, my journey is victorious. When you begin this practice, something profound awakens. The air around you feels different. People respond to your presence differently. Paths that once seemed blocked begin to open with little resistance. Even the environments that used to weigh you down suddenly lose their grip. You will feel as though the world itself bends to your steps, because in truth, the vibration of your journey has been elevated. You are no longer walking as flesh alone, you are walking as spirit clothed in fire. And do not be surprised when attacks cease almost instantly. Nightmares of walking barefoot through dangerous places will stop. Dreams of stepping on shards, nails, or cursed ground will vanish. Why? Because the enemy no longer has access to your footsteps. In the physical, too, the shift is undeniable. Offices that once drained your energy will no longer affect you. Relationships that used to collapse under invisible weight will find new balance. The cycle of starting but never finishing, of striving yet never arriving, begins to dissolve. Progress returns, momentum builds, and doors of opportunity stay open long enough for you to walk through. This is not coincidence, it is alignment. For your feet are not simply for movement, they are symbols of dominion and authority. When your steps are bound, your influence is diminished. But when your steps are sealed, your dominion expands. Ancient wisdom teaches that wherever your feet touch, you claim spiritual territory. That means every office, every meeting, every threshold you cross can be marked with light, simply because your shoes carry covenant. Do not dismiss this as ritual alone. It is both spiritual and practical. Salt embodies purification in matter, oil carries the vibration of blessing, and powder holds the frequency of sealing fire. Combined, they harmonize intention, body, and spirit into a force no curse can withstand. This is why witches work so hard to keep humanity ignorant of such truths. If people understood the sacredness of their steps, entire systems of oppression would collapse overnight. So let this truth take root: your shoes are not ordinary. They are altars that move with you, shrines of fire that crush snares as you advance. With every step, you announce to the unseen, I am covered, I am chosen, I am unstoppable. And once you begin to walk in this awareness, you will never again move through life as prey, you will move as a warrior of light. Consider now how curses travel through generations. Many people inherit battles they never chose, not through words or rituals, but through the footsteps of their ancestors. A father steps into cursed ground, a mother walks through poisoned soil, and without knowing, they carry that energy home. Children then grow up under shadows they cannot explain, cycles of poverty, sudden illnesses, repeated failures. This is why footsteps are more than motion, they are carriers of legacy. But when you rise today and sprinkle salt, oil, and powder in your shoes, you are declaring that the old legacy ends here. You are cutting off the inheritance of bondage and birthing a new inheritance of freedom. This is not theory, it is testimony. Across cultures, stories abound of families that suffered the same tragedies, generation after generation, until someone awakened to the truth of spiritual covering. The moment one person sealed their path, the chain broke. Opportunities returned, marriages healed, health strengthened, and the family tree began to flourish again. That one decision to guard the feet altered the destiny of bloodlines. Perhaps you are the one chosen in your family to make that decision now. And reflect on the universal wisdom. In sacred texts, blessings were tied to the feet. Everywhere your foot shall tread, I give you. When warriors were humiliated, enemies struck their feet. And when liberation was declared, it was often symbolized by walking free. Your feet are both weapon and promise. That is why the adversary fights so hard to bind them, for if he captures your steps, he can imprison your life. But if your steps are sealed, he loses all power over your journey. From this moment, refuse to see your shoes as common. They are armor. They are gateways. When you put them on with salt, oil, and powder, you are stepping not into fabric or leather but into fire. You are dressing not only your body but your destiny. You are preparing your path before you walk it. Each morning becomes an act of warfare, each step a prayer embodied. And as you walk, understand this: every curse you once carried is being crushed beneath you. Every unseen snare is shattered before you. Every doorway that once rejected you is preparing to welcome you. Your footsteps, once bound, are now commissioned. They no longer wander in circles, they move with precision toward blessing. Your destiny is no longer delayed, it advances with authority. So I ask you now, how much longer will you walk unprotected? How many more opportunities must slip away before you awaken? The wisdom has been placed in your hands. The power is as near as your shoes. Choose today to cover your steps. Choose today to change the pattern of your journey forever. Now we step into the realm of declaration, for words are the breath that ignite matter into spirit. Once you have placed salt, oil, and powder in your shoes, do not remain silent. Speak life into your steps. Say it with conviction: every curse tied to my footsteps is broken now. Every chain that has followed me scatters today. My steps are covered. My path is purified. My journey is secured. As your voice releases these words, the atmosphere bends to their command. Silence leaves doors half closed, but spoken faith throws them wide open. Declare also with boldness, by the power of salt, my feet are cleansed. By the power of oil, my feet are anointed. By the power of powder, my steps are sealed in holy fire. These are not empty phrases, they are spiritual codes. They instruct the unseen realm on how to respond to your presence. Wherever you step, curses lose their grip. Wherever you walk, demons scatter. Wherever you go, favor recognizes you. Place your hand upon your shoes and see them with new eyes. They are no longer fabric, leather, or rubber, they are weapons of light, carriers of destiny. Whisper again, these shoes are altars. They will crush every snare laid for me. They will escort me into blessing. They will carry me above traps and through thresholds of favor. Each word is a hammer striking invisible chains until they shatter. And feel this truth rising in your spirit, the battle over your feet is finished. What once followed you will no longer cling. Where heaviness once dragged you, strength now lifts you. Where confusion once blinded you, clarity now guides you. Your steps are ordered. Your path is aligned. Your destiny is rising. But do not let this be a momentary flame. Keep the fire alive through repetition. Each morning as you dress, touch your shoes and declare again, my steps are untouchable. My journey is victorious. My feet carry only blessings. Each repetition deepens the seal, each declaration strengthens the shield. Soon your entire being will believe what you speak, and your reality will mirror your faith. And let it echo in your heart, you are no longer walking as prey. You are walking as a warrior. No curse will ever trail your footsteps again. Your shoes are fire, your feet are light, and your journey is unstoppable. If you have followed this journey until now, you understand this is not an ordinary teaching, it is a weapon delivered into your hands. But knowledge without action remains powerless. Do not postpone, begin tonight. Take salt, olive oil, and the sealing powder, and prepare your shoes. Then, when dawn comes, step into them with faith, and notice how quickly the atmosphere shifts around you. What once weighed you down will lift. What once blocked you will crumble. What once followed you will scatter. And let your testimony rise. Type it, speak it, declare it, I seal my footsteps with salt, oil, and fire. This public confession is not for others alone, it is a mark in the spirit, a banner raised against darkness. The ancient word says we overcome by the word of our testimony. So do not hide what you practice. Declare it boldly, for when you do, the unseen realm acknowledges your authority. Share this wisdom with those you love. Too many wander under curses tied to their feet without knowing why their lives collapse at the edge of blessing. You may save someone years of wasted struggle simply by passing on this teaching. To share is to multiply light. Each soul you awaken strengthens your own shield, for the act of liberating others always draws greater protection upon yourself. In this way, your kindness becomes warfare, and your generosity becomes armor. And if this is your first time receiving such truth, know that you are not alone. A movement of awakened warriors is rising, men and women who refuse to bow to hidden snares. Each revelation is another weapon, each teaching another shield. Do not walk away empty-handed. Join this company of light-bearers, those who carry fire in their shoes and courage in their hearts. Never forget, witches attack silently, but wisdom defeats them openly. Salt cleanses the soil, oil anoints the journey, and powder seals the destiny. When you combine the three, no curse can track you, no trap can hold you, and no delay can stop you. From today, your shoes are no longer shoes, they are sacred vessels, moving altars, declarations of light with every step you take. This is your turning point. Do not delay it. Do not treat it lightly. The sooner you act, the sooner the cycle breaks. And as you act, watch how quickly testimonies multiply, not only yours, but those of everyone who chooses to walk this path of sealed steps. This is the moment of sealing, the final awakening of your path. Rise and put the wisdom into practice, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Take the salt, the oil, and the powder, and consecrate your shoes. Each time you step out, know you are not simply walking into the world, you are marching into destiny with fire at your feet. Every blessing is drawn closer, every curse is shattered before it dares touch you. As you walk, remember, no step is ordinary. Each one is charged with authority, each one is alive with light. Salt cleanses your path so corruption dissolves before you. Oil anoints your journey so favor meets you at every threshold. Powder seals it all so no darkness can cross. Together, they transform your shoes into living armor. You no longer wander exposed, you advance protected, unstoppable, and free. Lift your voice one last time and declare with power, my feet are untouchable. My steps are victorious. My journey is secured in fire and blessing. Say it until your heart believes it, until your spirit echoes it, until the very ground beneath you acknowledges it. Place your hand on your shoes and feel the truth, these are no longer common coverings. They are weapons of light, guardians of destiny, carriers of breakthrough. Now go forth with boldness. No curse will ever cling to your footsteps again. No trap will ever hold your journey hostage. From this day forward, every move you make is covered in fire, every step you take is a proclamation of freedom. Your shoes are altars, your feet are sealed, and your destiny is unstoppable. Walk boldly. Walk protected. Walk free. And let your life itself become the testimony.